Dorothy with Dot Scrapbooking, and I am going to bring you the September paper pumpkin called Autumn Abundance. And so I'm just going to go through and open the box, and we've got a nice stamp set that says, thanks, it's real autumn oriented with leaves and branches. And the color of the little ink spot is Cajun Cray, so it's a nice terracotta kind of color. So I'm just going to undo the package here, take all the parts out. So we've got our dimensionals, we've got 3 cards, and we have excuse me, some some smaller envelopes and bigger envelopes, and there's the first set of cards. So I'm just going to group everything together. And we have this real pretty accents of rose gold on the cards, on excuse me, the 2 bigger cards. So pretty. I'm sorry. The pollen count is pretty high in Texas. Computer stopped for a second there. I'm just going to go ahead and pull out all of the die cuts here. So we've got, look at those beautiful leaves that are also rose gold. So, so pretty. And we've got some crescents of a bow. And a bunch of all different colors of leaves. So I'm just going to pop those out and kind of group them with who they belong to. So beautiful color blue. And then we've got our little sheet that tells us, it makes it easier to read what the stamps say. And you can put that in like a little sandwich Ziploc bag, or if you have a little bag that can hold those, keep them together. So I'm just going to go ahead and open up my instructions and kind of start putting some things together. I was having a hard time with my iPad. Okay, so we've got a sentiment that's going to go on a block and go on the first group of sentiment little tags. So I kind of put these, I didn't take these die cuts out, so I've got to do that. And there's all sorts of cute little things that actually are really reminiscent of the early 70s. The mushrooms and little snails and stuff, that's from the 70s. Because they were around when I was going to college. So I'm just popping out all the leaves, and that'll go with the sliced logs up there. And also, and you know, the thing is, so this is 2 sheets together. I decided, let me just put these sheets together instead of doing them one at a time. And I think that I could do 3 at a time, and they would come out just fine. They are so easy to pop off of their little carrier sheet that I think all 3 could go at one time and save yourself a little bit of time. So I'm just going to put these together. Look how pretty that looks together. And then you've got the little round tag that has a dashed line in the rose gold also. So we've got all of those leaves are going to go there, and then we have an extra round tag, which is really nice if you mess it up. So it's always nice to have an extra. Okay, so I think we have everything kind of grouped together the way they need to be. Just kind of looking everything over. So those tags go with the lumber. So the round tag is the only thing that goes with the top card there with the blue leaves. So this one actually gets the most pieces. I think it's the most pieces to it. Anyway, there's a bunch of pieces to it. So I'm just taking off the branch that is on the carrier sheet and putting it on. It's too big for the 2x2, so I'm putting it on the 2x3 block and using my little, I'm trying to take the tag off of the thing that holds the thing down, so I have to cut it. It's really hard to get your fingernail under it. So I will do the same thing that I always do. I always kind of test it on a piece of scrap paper first. And they just come out so nice right off the bat. So this is going to go in the lower corner of our little square. So now I am not doing alternate layouts on this, but you totally could. You could cut up the log card and the blue leaf card and take the backing off, and you could create 6 other cards with those if you wanted to. To tell you the truth, I really do like having a decorated back of the card, but I can understand if you want to make your money go as far as possible and get an additional 6 cards out of the set. I mean, you really would be being highly efficient doing that. So I totally get it. One thing that's nice, see, I messed up on that. I didn't give an even press on the stamp, and so that's why you have a second side. That works out great. And you can kind of see when you're holding the stamp down, when you're using these clear blocks, you can see that you're pressing evenly and the ink is coming off and going into the cardstock. So I'm going to just go ahead and fold up all of these. Now the square cards now will kind of stand up on the back side of the opening. And so I'm going to add the dimensionals in each of the corners and then put that so that the color is showing through, excuse me, through the opening. And then you decorate all around the opening. So you kind of want to put it so that it's kind of equidistant all the way around. And there we go. Get my bone folder out and give it a really good press. So this is going to go on the top part of the circle there, and it's going to get the dimensionals. No, it's not. It's getting glue dots to go around, so it will lay flat. And that's works out fine because you're putting stuff on top of it. So you kind of want it to lay flat. So there we go. And then we've got that cute little mushroom. Now all of these things are going to get popped up. There we go. And this is just so perfect for sending out little autumn notes to family or friends. This is also getting glue dots. And then we'll put that at the bottom and put some things on top of it. So it's a perfect little thing. And Sunday, I think, is the start of autumn. And hopefully the word is we're going to get a cool front in Texas. And it's going to drop, the temperature is going to drop from, it's been in the 90s this week. So it's going to go down to the 80s. So it's going to feel very cool for us. And it's just, we get so sick of the heat here, I have to tell you. At least I do. It's like enough already. So, and look at this darling little snail going right in there. So we have the card all made up, and now we're going to put our um, sentiment up towards the top and kind of tuck it under the log a little bit. So there we go, and we have a little bit of the shine on the little bow going around the opening. And look at that cute little envelope. I mean, nice kind of craft brown color, and the leaves and stuff on the envelopes. I mean, really, Stampin' Up's envelopes are really, really so nice. So when I make cards, I always like to have my envelopes match the card. And so that's why I hesitate making too many of the alternate cards, just because I love having matching envelopes to my cards. And these are really, really a step above. So, you know, once you do one card, then it's like, okay, this is easy peasy. Let me just kind of put them together. And you get faster once you put one together, then, you know, it makes everything else go much faster. So there we go. So I'm trying to think, who all could I send autumn cards to? I mean, it just would be, it's so nice to kind of get through the summer and come into winter. And I don't know if other people feel about autumn the way I do. I mean, it's just it's probably my favorite time of the year. I just love the coolness, and things seem to quiet down. So I'm just kind of really looking forward to things cooling down, and these would really be nice to send to people, just as kind of a little, hi, how you doing? So here we go. We're going to put the little boughs on there of the branch. See, I could do that. We had all of our trees trimmed yesterday. Holy moly, it was, well, they've gotten so big. Their trees are at least 30 years old. And there are 2 oaks and a Texas ash, and they're just huge. And there were so many leaves, so many branches that needed, we had a lot of high winds, and had a lot of broken branches that were just too high for us to deal with. So we knew we would have to get the professionals to come in and use their equipment to take a bunch of the branches out that had broken. And I think it's because we had so much rain this spring that we had a huge number of leaves. And of course, when you have that many leaves, when the wind blows, watch out. You know, it's like a big, gigantic sail on a sailboat. Catches all the wind. So that little snail is just like, he's like the cutest little thing. And I love the dimension on this card. I mean, it's got so many levels between the raised pieces, and then the depth in the opening, with having a little depth for the terracotta color, or Cajun craze. It just really, the dimension of a card just really makes it so much more interesting. So you always kind of want to have some dimension, rather than you don't want to have anything that's flat. And that's true of scrapbook pages also. The more dimension, the more interest you have in what you're creating. So sending autumn wishes your way. And so I'm sending autumn wishes your way. So here's the 3 cards and the little envelope that goes with it. And so cute, right? Love those. Okay, so the second card is going to be these beautiful blue leaves. And we're going to have sentiment on the circle. And actually what you can do, there's, I didn't put any sentiments on the inside, but you can have the sentiment on the, whatever sentiment you use on the outside, you can take one of the other sentiments and put it on the inside. So if you want to have a sentiment on the inside, you know, you've got plenty. So you can put, you know, thinking of you, and then put the sending autumn wishes your way on the inside. That would work out perfectly. So it just depends on whether you want to use it for a straight note card, or if you want to have a little sentiment in there. I always kind of like to write around a sentiment, so, but I don't necessarily want to put these sentiments on the inside yet. So I'm going to go ahead and put this is going to go down flat with the glue dots. So I'm putting all those down at one time. This is, I've always talked about, you know, when you're making something like cards and you're making a number of them, of the same things, then you kind of want to turn into a kind of a factory thing so that you become very efficient with making these. Now, as usual, I'm working off of the camera, but all of these leaves are getting the dimensional elements stuck to them. Now, the bottom leaf on the brownish group of leaves, the dimensional's getting cut in half because it's so thin that you can't put a whole one on there. So I'm just taking those pieces off. And each of the groups of leaves, a leaflet, if you want to call it that, the tip of the bottom tip of the leaflet is right down at the very bottom of the card. It's not going over, it's going right to the very bottom of the card and kind of laying on top of the sentiment, or the circle for the sentiment. So that's where you could cut and make another card. You could totally do that and just stick the pieces to another card set if you wanted to. So it just, see how it just makes it so much easier if you've done all the stamping at one time. You're quicker at it, and then when you're putting it down, instead of, you know, doing the stamping and doing all the stuff at one time, you're just so much more efficient by doing all the stamping at one time, all the like stamping at least. They have a tendency to stick together. So I'm just cutting a little piece, and it went flying. I was cutting a little piece off to do the half part, going right there. I do like using the take your pick tool to pull all the backings off. It really makes it easy. See, the leaflet went right down to the bottom of the card, so it kind of looks like it's coming out. There we go. And we're getting down to having 6 cards made. See, it just looks nice having something go over the sentiment, adding the dimension to it. So there's all of our cards. The second card with, look at how pretty that envelope is. It's just so beautiful. Okay, so now we've got our leaves. And we've got, this is going to be a with thanks. And that's going to have the Cajun Craze little banner that's going to go under it to kind of highlight it. So that's real nice looking too. Adds a little bit of a dimension. I love how these stamps are just so beautiful right off the bat. I mean, just a little bit of seasoning and boy, they give you such a good stamp. And I like that font. I like it. It's just so nice and clean looking. I'm just using my little dampened cloth to clean off the stamps and put them back onto the... You always want to put them right back onto the carrier sheet because, believe me, they can get lost in a hurry. Okay, so I'm just kind of following just exactly where they've got the branching going. And there's one going one way and one turning around and going the other way. And they kind of overlap a little bit towards the center. So, and I just absolutely love the little bit of glitz that's on these cards with the rose gold. So pretty. And this is all first generation. I guess you could use second generation, but it would probably be kind of maybe a little too pale. Okay, so that's going to go back on the sheet. Got cleaned off and it's going back on the sheet. I'll put the ink pad away so I don't run my cards over it and make a big mess. I've done that before. Just saying. Okay, so on the sentiment back, at the top of the sentiment, you want to put the dimensional. And then on the bottom, you want to put the glue dots. So, because it's one part is going to be stuck to the Cajun Craze strip, and the other part, now the Cajun Craze, they're all going to be with dimensionals on them. So I'm sorry you're not seeing this, but I'm putting dimensionals on all three of them. And then the white one will get stacked on top of the Cajun Craze. So, and all of the leaves get glue dots. So I'm just kind of laying them out. And had to run off and do something. I came back and I went ahead and put the glue dots on all of the leaves. So everything is ready to go. Now I'm making little piles to go of the leaves to go with each card. And so you kind of stack, put one up and then stack the other one on top of it over a little bit next to it, and then the other one is going to lay down kind of sideways there. So you still have the branches showing, and I'm going to put the terracotta, the Cajun Craze down. I hate to cover up any of the rose gold dots. That just drives me crazy to cover up anything that's so pretty. Okay, so there's my glue dots and then the dimensionals. And see the dimensional, so the dimensional is going to match the dimensional of there, but the glue dots are sticking straight to the Cajun Craze strip. So, and then you tuck the one leaf under, and then the rose gold leaf goes on top of the other. And so you could cut that there and use it for, 3 more cards. So there we go. That's the 3 of them. And I just think these are real pretty. But, I have to say I've always loved fall, and even with close to my heart, I have a lot of stamps with leaves on. So, I mean, I can never, to tell you the truth, I can never get too many leaves I just love them. But that's just kind of what I like. So we're going to put another one there. And I will give a plug to Paper Pumpkin. You make really pretty cards, and they're very easy to do. You can see how easy they are. You're not cutting, you're not measuring. It's all so simple to do, and you don't have to be artistic. You know, you don't have to be a tremendous crafter. You can do these things and, you know, feel real proud about what you're making and what you're sending. So I love that they're so easy and so easy to do and so pretty. And then you get those wonderful envelopes. I mean, what's not to love? And everything is so good. It's such good quality that you could only be proud of what you're sending. Okay, so there's my Cajun Craze strip, and then here comes my sentiment. And like I said, some of the other sentiments can go on the inside of these cards. So feel free and just go ahead and do it in the same ink color. So there we go with thanks. And our last two leaves. I love that take your pick tool. That is the greatest thing ever. There's the last of my cards. So I have to say, I'm real happy. I'm going to go ahead and put my stamps on top of the little sheet so I can read what it says better to use them at another time. And here's all the matching cards and the matching envelopes and the stamp. So I'm just going to scooch everything over. And there we go. And so this is the 9 cards. You can see we get 3 each. And you can always make more. So there we go. So thanks so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi, this is Dorothy with Dot Scrapbooking. Thanks for watching my channel. Please subscribe and learn along with me. Thank you. Bye-bye.